Seattle Refined.
I don't know what's going to happen because I've never had an orgasm before.
The tension on The Bachelor reaches the boiling point, and it's enough to make you scream.
Where's the ambulance?
Plus,
Kling, you're on TV. Come here.
a local business going the extra mile to make people smile. Then inside Seattle's urban evolution.
I embrace every time something changes because most of the time it changes for the better.
The new downtown neighborhood everyone's going to want to live in. And a beloved music teacher marching to the beat of a very different drum. Seattle Refined starts now. Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson, coming to you today from Honor Coffee. And then there were two. That's right, tonight we finally find out which of the final two ladies Nick pops the question to on ABC's The Bachelor. Refined.com managing editor Britt Thorson is tracking tonight's race to the altar.
I gotta admit, I'm getting a little bit emotional that this season of The Bachelor is coming to an end tonight. From topless pool parties to body bouncy houses, Nick's rocky road to I Do has been the guiltiest of pleasures. Let's take a look at how we got down to the final two.
Okay, this is probably starting to sound pretty redundant, but part one of the Bachelor Fantasy Suite episode was odd as a cod, mostly because of this.
I don't know what's going to happen because I've never had an orgasm before.
Oh.
Part two picks up the morning after Raven and Nick's sleepover date.
Last night meant a lot to me.
It meant a lot to me. I had an amazing time with you.
Oh, geez, these two. Can someone just tell us if Raven's favorite word starts with the letter O or not? Wait, I think we have our answer. Cue the montage.
I keep changing today. I woke up like a daisy.
That's right, folks. Raven skips through the streets of Finland, performing feats only achievable when highly satisfied. She high-fives strangers, pets dogs, kisses reindeer, does snow angels. Now, who's up for lunch?
Yes! Yes! Oh! Oh! Oh!
I'll have what she's having.
Next up in Nick's naughty love nest is one of our favorite ladies, Rachel.
Today was magical for me. Like, I feel cloud nine, amazing. I am falling in love with Nick.
Now, I've been mad as a hatter for weeks now that Rachel is still on the show because over a month ago, ABC announced that she'll be the next Bachelorette. Ergo, she's not Nick's love match. Schmergo. I'm gonna keep this quick. Rachel seems way too smart to succumb to Nick's charms, and the lions he's feeding her are the stuff red flags are made of.
I feel like we have a great relationship and it's really strong, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that kind of hoped she'd tell Nick thanks but no thanks to a slumber party of sin, but alas, she says yes.
Nick likes to see the vulnerable side of me. He said that before, and last night I showed him that.
I got only one thing to say about this. Yo! The final Fantasy Suite date is with Montreal's Vanessa, and I like Vanessa. She's one tough chick. But when it comes to her and Nick's relationship, she seems like she's always on the verge of angry tears, desperately trying to get to the heart of the matter, and it's a real turnoff. So I'm praying she can give it a rest.
I need to know where Nick's heart is at with me. So Nick and I have a lot of things to talk about today.
Yikes, no such luck. Now, hats off to the producers who somehow figured out a way to get Nick and Vanessa to put on matching swimsuits and plunge into frigid ice baths.
Where's the ambulance? Where's the ambulance?
And hats off to Nick for turning it into a metaphor on relationships.
If we can do this together, we can do anything.
Really? So many times throughout our journey that I've thought there's no way I can possibly do this. But then once I'm with Nick and once I get that encouragement from him, I'm like, I can do anything.
I think someone's been talking to Raven.
Got no time for
Flash forward, Nick and Vanessa finally find some hot water, but it's Nick's words that are ice cold.
Your family's very traditional.
Yes.
I'm not traditional at all.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I'm just not.
So what do you mean by my family's so traditional? Like in what way?
Now, Vanessa is like a dog with a bone on this, and it's pretty clear that Nick has pushed this conversation out of the hot tub and into the fire.
My core values are things that I don't want to compromise on, are things that I don't see myself changing
So you think there's things that in your life that you're not willing to compromise on?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's called integrity, Nick. Look it up. Later that night, Vanessa exposes more landmines in her relationship with Nick.
I've never imagined living in Canada. And I'll be honest, like, that's not easy for me to picture.
But why is it something that you can't picture yourself doing?
I mean, not to sound corny, but I'm, like, really proud to be an American. And
I'm very proud to be a Canadian.
I'm not saying you're not.
Now, about right now, I'm thinking Nick better curl up with a good book tonight because there's no way in the name of Alanis Morissette that Vanessa's bedding down in that fantasy suite. But, per usual, I'm wrong. Nighty-night, you two. The final rose ceremony finds all three women on pins and needles. They've all spent the night with Nick, they've all told him they love him, and now someone's going to be doing the long walk of shame through the snow, no less. And her name is, drumroll please, Rachel.
I don't know what to say. I don't either.
That makes 3 of us.
Okay, there you have it. It's down to Vanessa and Raven. Watch tonight to see who Nick picks, and then make sure to log on to SeattleRefined.com tomorrow for a recap.
This Bachelor update was brought to you by Broadway at the Paramount and Mamma Mia. The smash hit musical featuring the timeless songs of ABBA opens March 28th and runs through April 2nd. Great seats are still available. For more information, log on to SeattleRefined.com. And Refined is teaming up with Star 101.5 to give you a chance to win opening night tickets to see Mamma Mia. All you have to do is listen to Star and know the ABBA song title of the day. The Tuesday song is Money, Money, Money. Wednesday, Dancing Queen. Thursday, Super Trooper. Friday, Take a Chance on Me. Listen for your cue to call at 12:10 and be the 10th caller with the correct song title. Now don't forget the Bachelor finale airs tonight at 8 p.m. here on KOMO 4. Then tomorrow on Refined, we sit down with controversial Seattle Bachelor star Taylor for all the behind-the-scenes dirt. Her feud with Corinne, the impact the show had on her career, and would she do it all over again? Here's a sneak peek.
I've definitely gotten some hateful things online, which a lot of the girls have. Mine just happens to be...
You'll have to wait until tomorrow to hear the answer. Join us at 3. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
I know I've done my job when people leave with a smile on their face.
We saddle up with a local business helping others to live their best life. But first, we live in one of the fastest growing cities in America.
When I look out my window in Capitol Hill, I see cranes. I see buildings springing up.
Find out how you can be a part of Seattle's future skyline. Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, there's no question that Seattle is one of the fastest growing cities in the U.S. Between 2015 and 2016, more than 86,000 new people moved to Seattle and its surrounding counties. That's a heck of a lot of transplants. Many are coming for jobs in the region's booming tech industry. And not only is it transforming the landscape of the region, but how we live. You only need to take a quick look at the Seattle skyline to see all the construction cranes reshaping the city. The Puget Sound is changing, and fast, which is why Refined is teaming up with our sponsor Nexus to explore Seattle's urban evolution. Many people used to think the future of downtown Seattle looked more like the Jetsons. Seattle got its first glimpse of the space age with the Space Needle at the 1962 World's Fair. Turns out, the future is here, and it's a lot cooler than we could have ever imagined.
When I look out my window in Capitol Hill, I see cranes. I see buildings springing up. Certainly the face of Seattle is changing.
It's an historic time. There's never been a better time to be in downtown Seattle. There's lots that's coming. 40 plus new residential buildings, big investments in new parks, public spaces, a new convention center, plenty on the way.
One of those developments is a cutting-edge high-tech high-rise called Nexus. The 41-story residential building is one of the most anticipated projects in Seattle right now. Last summer, hundreds of people camped out just for a chance to reserve a condo.
There are so many attributes about Nexus that make it a standout in the city. Its location, its iconic architecture, of course, the innovative interior design and the technology.
Here we are at the Nexus showroom.
Just walking through a model unit, you can see the future of downtown living.
The idea of movable islands and inline kitchens, enabling several different ways to lay out your floor plan. We can build your condo your way. We've got 3 extraordinary finished packages. We've got opportunities to personalize with adding flexible islands or various audio-visual technologies. Even in the second bedroom, perhaps, we have demonstrated here at Nexus the idea of a convertible bedroom where we have a modern-day Murphy bed that also doubles as a storage unit and a desk.
Nexus will go up at 1200 Howell Street, and in the next few years, it could be the hottest neighborhood in the city.
Nexus is effectively the exclamation point in what has become the East Village Rising. This is an incredible expansion of downtown Seattle skyline. The northeast corner, a neighborhood that most of us might have remembered driving through to get to downtown Seattle, is actually becoming a vertical village. But perhaps the most important attribute is that it's available. It's currently the only condominium high-rise available in downtown Seattle. We can go ahead and lock that future in right here, right now at Nexus through pre-sales. We'll take the next 30 months to deliver your home, but you can lock in your price today.
Not only will there be groundbreaking technology at Nexus, from a digital concierge app to automated appliances, but the sales center is already offering a one-of-a-kind experience through the magic of virtual reality.
Being the high-tech high-rise, our friends at Z-Axon approached us with the HoloLens experience. We thought, what a great way to paint a vision of the future. Through augmented reality, we can certainly see the environment that we share today, but then impose the future holograms of these surrounding cityscapes. It really gives our buyers a 2020 vision of the future.
Whichever way you look at it, the future is bright for downtown Seattle.
I embrace every time something changes because most of the time it changes for the better.
We've never really seen this level of investment, and we're going to continue to see it play out in the next several years with new things for everybody to do and new ways to get around. It's phenomenal.
This is an extraordinary time for us in the industry and really as a city. This is a global city on the rise. I think Nexus is the kind of iconic architecture and a demonstration of not just a new place to live, but a new way to live.
Are you ready for downtown living? Take Refine's Where You Should Live personality quiz to find out at seattlerefine.com/Nexus. When you take the quiz, you'll be entered into our Urban Evolution giveaway. The grand prize is an electric bike from Rad Power Bikes, a $500 gift card to Alchemy Collections, that's Seattle's go-to for modern and affordable furnishings, plus $200 to Daniel's Broiler. Again, head to seattlerefine.com/Nexus for a chance to win. Seattle Refine will be right back. But first, our Urban Evolution question of the day, brought to you by our sponsor, Caliber Home Loans.
I'm renting right now, but what are the advantages of buying?
Well, the advantages of buying in this market are that rents continue to increase, and as they increase, in many cases, the landlords may choose to sell. Plus, it's also a great investment, you know, in this kind of a market where home prices are going up at the trajectory that they have been going up. The capital appreciation might be a great long-term investment as well as your home.
There's a lot of good programs for first-time buyers. A lot of people think they have to have 20% down in order to buy a home, and they really don't. We have some really, really great programs. And at Caliber Home Loans, we have loans where you can do, depending on what the price is, maybe as little as 3% down. There's a lot of variables for the down payment, a lot of creative ways of helping you get into a home.
Welcome back to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, so much of the news we see these days is about bad people doing bad things. But here in the Northwest, you don't need to look very hard to find people I like to call smile makers. Smile makers are those unsung heroes who go out of their way to brighten the lives of others. And it's the reason Refined is teaming up with our sponsor, Delta Dental, to celebrate Smile Power.
Remember, this is not a machine. This is a living thing with its own mind. And they're fast and they're powerful. So you better watch out. Or just at least be careful.
Meet Jackson and Bailey.
I've learned about riding that he was trotting, posting, that he been doing so happily. I clean stalls and volunteer for a couple of years.
Jackson and Bailey are autistic. They're learning to ride and care for the horses at the Northwest Therapeutic Riding Center in Bellingham.
We have a unique program in Whatcom County because we're the only program that serves people of all ages with all different types of disabilities. So anything from physical to cognitive to emotional. Our youngest are start at age 4 up to into their 70s.
It's a long-term program. When people get here, there's a benefit when they're learning. There's a lot of learning is going on. It carries into their everyday lives and the lives of their families. And that's what you can't see. And it's pretty amazing.
That program includes 6 horses that are specially trained to be versatile, athletic, and adaptable.
They have to be kind. They have to be gentle. But it goes way beyond that. A lot of people think therapeutic riding, especially that like their pony rides, you might lead the person around. But our horses all our horses walk, trot, canter, and do some jumping. And they have to be able to immediately adapt themselves to the rider.
They're really good at reading body language. Like if you're nervous, then they pick up on your agitation, like, oh, what's going on?
Without the horses, we couldn't do this program. They are the literal backbone of our program. Our overall goal is that people enjoy themselves and have a good time. And I know I've done my job when people leave with a smile on their face.
That mission is what inspired Delta Dental of Washington to recognize the Northwest Therapeutic Riding Center during its Smile Power campaign, celebrating the power of a healthy smile. Delta Dental provided new helmets for the riders and sponsored one of the horses for a month.
It means a lot to us, especially because they supported Kling. Kling has been in our program for over 20 years. Kling won National Horse of the Year in 2009, and in 2013 he was inducted into the Horse Star Hall of Fame as a humanitarian equine. And he's served hundreds of riders here.
The center doesn't receive any funding or insurance payments, so it relies greatly on the support of others.
A lot of people who might not have known about us outside of Whatcom County have now heard about our program. They saw pictures in the newspaper or stuff on social media. So it's brought more exposure to us, which we really appreciate.
If you know someone you'd like to nominate for a Smile Power Surprise, log on to SeattleRefined.com and learn how. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Seattle Refined. Find your passion, then follow it. That's the old adage about the road to success. And Refined discovered a Utah music teacher who not only followed his passion, but has triumphed despite not always being able to hear the music.
Band class at West Jordan High School.
Here we go, last 4 measures.
And there to lead the charge, the director, 33-year-old Jacob Bradshaw.
Add in group 3, add in.
A music teacher who truly loves his job. In fact, music has been a part of his life since he was born.
But I did grow up in a house full of music.
Jacob's specialty is a drum. Something he sometimes gets called upon to play at a variety of outside performances. He also plays several other instruments. But how does a guy learn to play instruments, all while being partially deaf in his right ear?
I think it's pretty cool.
Even Jacob is a little amazed at what he's accomplished.
I just didn't know I had a limitation. I worried people would see it as a limitation instead of seeing me as a musician. I didn't want to be perceived as having any sort of handicap.
Jacob went and had major surgery to reconstruct his right eardrum.
I discovered that all 3 of the middle ear bones had deteriorated past the point of use.
With a new ear implant, Jacob is now having to occasionally wear studio headphones because he's still adapting to all the extra sounds he is hearing.
Going from this black and white sort of feel to everything's in color. It's really, really amazing. It's a beautiful thing for me. Just all of a sudden, it's surround sound.
All right, that'll do it for today's show. Many thanks to Honor Coffee. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined. Bye.